Hello and welcome back to another video on high altitude investing. In today's video, I'm going to be talking a little bit about equities and Bitcoin and kind of my thoughts on the markets and how they will affect each other. Before I get into exactly what I'm going to talk about today though, make sure that you're a subscriber to my channel as well as sharing this video with your friends and liking it up. I really appreciate you guys tuning in today, and I look forward to sharing with you my thoughts on how equities and Bitcoin will affect each other. So without further ado, let's get straight into the video. So I'm actually noticing a lot of people are bearish on equities again, just in the same way how they were heavily bearish on equities in this area right here, especially at $2,222. That was an area that I saw a lot of people that were very, very bearish on the equities market. Now, what I've actually noticed is these same people are wondering how equities will affect Bitcoin. They're saying, okay, well, if equities drop, then that's probably going to cause a drop in about everything. So what would that result in? Well, that would probably result in a massive drop in Bitcoin, right? Well, I'm going to kind of go into exactly why I do not think that is the case and exactly why I think that equities and Bitcoin can actually rise together and kind of what that will look like from a cycle perspective, from a fractal perspective, and from an Elliott wave perspective. So with equities right now, everybody got very, very scared and there's a lot of top calling. And this actually reminds me a lot of back in the day when Bitcoin went from $7,000 to $5,000 in its bullish trend. And so I'm going to go ahead and pull up the chart that I made because it's actually crazy how similar these two charts really are. And it just goes to show how calling tops, especially too early, is really not smart to do. There are times where a lot of people will tell you to never, ever, ever call tops. And that's something I used to believe in the past as well. But if it's the right moment to call a top, there's absolutely no reason why you shouldn't. But with that being said, it has to be the right moment to actually do that. And so what I'm looking at right now with the Dow Jones and with Bitcoin is this is the Dow Jones on the bottom, and then we have Bitcoin on the top. And this is a comparison of their market cycles, of their fractals of human emotion. And what we're actually seeing with this fractal of human emotion, the one on the top is Bitcoin, and the one on the bottom is the Dow Jones, which is the Dow Jones and the S&P 500 essentially follow each other so that you can actually use these as a very, very good comparison. It doesn't really matter if you're looking at the Dow Jones or the S&P 500, you're going to get a very, very similar chart. And so as you guys can see, when Bitcoin hit 7,000 per coin and then fell down to 5,000 per coin, this was a shakeout in the market. A lot of people got really bearish. A lot of people got really scared. A lot of people started calling tops, and a lot of people started acting kind of like idiots and thinking that that was the actual top of the entire market, which is to be expected because there's only a small percentage of people that can actually see through all of the BS when it comes to these markets and properly trade them and invest in them. And that's why I made this channel, is to show you guys the way, teach you guys the mindset for success in the markets. Now, what's actually interesting is people think this is the Great Depression 2.0. People think that this is the end of the bullish trend, and I completely disagree. I think that they do not see what's actually going on. I think that they're in a giant illusion created by the media. I think that they're trapped inside of lower states of consciousness, inside of fear. And with that being said, you guys, do not be the idiot that thinks that this is the top of the entire market. Instead, we're going to see a massive run up for at least the next 8 years inside of equity markets. And then we can talk. Then you can come to this channel, then you can email me, then you can ask me questions, then you can shoot me a Discord message about a potential top of a massive uptrend that will lead into a massive correction, very similar to the Great Depression. Now, when you hear that, a lot of people want to see that as something to be disempowered by, to be like, oh no, there's another Great Depression coming in the future. What am I going to do? This is terrible. What if half the population dies? What if there's wars? What if this? What if that? That is all disempowering belief systems. If you actually want to be something that somebody that can profit inside of the markets, that can profit inside of any economic status, you have to look at this as an empowering thing. Because it's actually an empowering thing to know what's coming. This gives you 8 years to plan, prepare, make a ton of money in the markets, and then also prepare to short everything as we're reaching the top of the cycle. And really that gives you an opportunity to make massive amounts of money through the correction, through the bull market, and then buy the dip again at the bottom in our lifetimes and set not only yourself up for the rest of your life, but your children up for prosperity, your children's children up for prosperity. And, with this correction this big, you guys, the bull market that would come after the correction, we're talking after the next Great Depression, would be so ridiculously massive that your children will be set for the rest of their lives, the rest of your children's life. And that for me is the most empowering thing you could ever believe. So, maintain clarity inside of the movement. And that's what's really going to set you apart from everybody else. If you want to be somebody that actually can see exactly what's going on and be able to help other people with that knowledge to empower others, there's actually a way that through all of this, you can get richer than your wildest dreams. There's a way, and it's through empowerment. And so that's what I see happening in equities, you guys. Equities are going to go in for another massive upswing. It's just in the same way, just like how I'm comparing the Dow Jones to Bitcoin right there, I've also very recently compared the S&P 500, as I just go through all of my charts here for you. Just in the same way that I've compared the S&P 500 to Ethereum, and this is also the Dow Jones to Ethereum right here. You guys, there is another massive upswing coming inside of the equities markets. So don't let the news, don't let the fear of people, don't let the fear of a second wave scare you out of getting rich through all of this. It is, if you're an intelligent person, you will get rich through all of this. And same with silver. Being in depression, silver is an excellent opportunity to buy. It reminds me exactly of the NASDAQ in 2003. And so without dropping too many golden bombs for free for you guys today, since I'm probably giving you too much information already, then, just understand, you guys, that there's so much opportunity to be made in Bitcoin, in equities. It really doesn't matter. If you can see through the BS, you will be profitable in times of fear, and you can empower yourself and others, and that's really what this channel is all about. So yes, you guys, Bitcoin is in an ascending triangle, getting ready to break up towards 11K, and this is from a cyclical perspective. And that will really lead us into a lot more bullish action as well. And as we even start to trend up and break resistance, we're going to continue that uptrend, even through this area as a down cycle, but that doesn't mean that the trend has to become a down cycle. It just means that there's going to be a little more selling pressure in that area. It can still be trending up with selling pressure if the demand is high enough, which I know that it is. And so, yeah, you guys, there's a lot of opportunity made in equities, a lot of opportunity made in Bitcoin. There's a ton of tech stocks, new tech stocks. Old tech stocks are dying. New ones are being born. And there's a lot of opportunity to be made in these markets. This is not a bull trap inside of the S&P 500. This is just the beginning. And so from a cycle standpoint, we still have a new paradigm, a media attention, retail money buying, and pretty soon, your grandma has to buy the top, and she hasn't bought the top yet. And so that's kind of what I'm expecting here with the S&P 500 is a massive upswing. And this really goes along with my Elliott wave count, which is that this is all just a big 1 and 2 wave with a flat correction here. this is a 3, 4, and a 5th wave coming in the market, or even potentially that could be that we're still making a 3 and a 4 and that the 5th wave is coming. Either way, upside is the path, and further growth inside of the market, further expansion is definitely the path. And it will definitely lead to a massive ABC correction that you want to be prepared for, that you want to make sure your family is prepared for. And everything I'm telling you today is empowering you guys. It's easy to hear something like that and want to feel fearful, but empower yourself, plan, prepare, profit, and get ready, because you'll actually be able to make money through all of that, especially if you continue to follow what I'm teaching on this channel. And so that's really what this is about, is decentralizing investing. Bitcoin is in a big 1 and a 2 wave, getting ready for a 3, 4, and 5. And from a cycle perspective, Bitcoin is a lot more in a disbelief, whereas this is kind of halfway up its market cycle. So yeah, you guys, this is all about decentralizing investing, empowering the people, allowing you guys to profit, setting your family up for future profits, setting your friends up for profits today and future profits, and allowing you to maintain profitability inside of the markets no matter what the world wants you to believe. So thank you guys so much for tuning in today's video. If you aren't a member of the VIP, this is where you're going to get more information just like this so that you guys can profit along with me, so you can see through the BS, so that you don't let the media control you, so that you're an empowered individual ready to make money in the markets continuously. So the 20% discount is now over, but you guys can go ahead and shoot me a direct message or an email, and you can get set up inside of this exclusive group today for profits in the markets. Thank you so much for tuning in. Share this video with your friends if you learned something, if you're empowered by it, and I look forward to seeing you in future updates 5 days a week all through 2020. As always, stay profitable out there.